A devotee does not act in any way for his personal sense gratification. So how does he act? Whatever he does, whatever he thinks, it is for the satisfaction of the personality of Godhead. So this is the understanding of a devotee, always wanting to satisfy the Lord. If this thing is there, if I am doing anything, I will check. The check is, if by doing this will I please the Lord? And if that much, yes, this action is going to please the Lord, and then I will do it, then the Lord will be happy. And if I am doing something that is not going to please the Lord, then to think whether this is good or bad is simply a mental concoction. It is bad. So here further Prabhupada is writing, he can understand that in the material world there is nothing good, everything is bad, due to its being contaminated by material nature. The materialist's conclusion of good and bad, moral and immoral, are simply mental concoction or sentiment. Actually, there is nothing good in the material world. So, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, that verse is there which explains nicely. In this material world of duality, it's called Dvaite. Dvaite means this Dvaita, two, good, bad. Everything is two in this material world. So Dvaite, Bhadra, Abhadra, Gyan, the knowledge of something is good, something is bad in this material world, it is said, Sab Mano Dharma. This is all mental concoction. That this is good, this is bad. Ei bhalo, ei manda. That this is good, this is bad. Ei sab bhrama. Everything is bad. Like sometimes Prabhupada gave an example of the wet stool and the dry stool. Whether it's a wet stool or the dry stool, stool is stool. There's no point in saying this is good or this is bad. So, if we are just thinking on a material plane, whether this is good, whether that is bad, there's no point. It is bad because on the material plane, it's not going to lead us anywhere. If it's on a spiritual plane, if it's for Krishna, then everything is good. And if it is on a material plane, then everything is bad. There's no point of thinking whether it is good or whether it is bad. Just like, for example, in the dream, you may have a very nice dream or you may get a very bad dream. But whether it's a nice dream or a bad dream, it doesn't really matter. Of course, if you get some spiritual dream and some, then it's a different matter. But on the material plane, whether it's, it's bad or good, it doesn't make any difference. But yes, if it's connected to Krishna, it is all good. So that is how we must test. Just like Prabodhananda Saraswati, he is saying, Vishwam Purna Sukhayate. Very wonderful. Vishwam Purna Sukhayate. He says the whole world is very, very, nice. We here, first thing that we pray every day, Samsara Dava, Dava Nala. Samsara, this material world is like a forest fire. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also in the first verse says, Chetodar Bhava Mahadavagni. But here this devotee, Prabodhananda Saraswati, is praying, Vishwam Purna Sukhayate. He's saying, no, for him he says, the whole world is full of happiness. Why? Because he's thinking about the Supreme Lord, he's thinking about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he's thinking that because I have received a drop of mercy from the Supreme Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I find everything very nice. So actually you see, the material world is good, is bad. It is bad if there is no Krishna and is nothing connected, if we do not think of Krishna, but it is all good if it is with Krishna. So, to understand, one lecture I was reading, Prabhupada was quoting, and then I just remembered of what is happening. Last few days we have been seeing the state of Indian politics and the elections that's going on in different parts of the country. So to understand this Ei Bhalo, Ei Manda, we can apply this, we'll understand very easily about Indian politics. So we're seeing in some state, one party comes to power, one term, and next term that party is out of power and the next party comes in power. And then in the next term, that party which was out of power the previous term comes back in power. So what does this mean? We are thinking that no, this time this party is good, vote this party. And then next term we will think no, this party was not good, vote that party. Because we are thinking this party is good, that party is not good. But actually, whether this party comes to power or that party comes to power, our situation is the same. Our situation is not changed. The suffering is still there, the price rise is still there, and the tribulations are also going on. So that is what, in the material plane, everything is bad. Prabhupada said that what is real good? Real good is he has forgotten God. Revive his consciousness. That is real good. Then he will be saved from the so-called good and bad of everything that is wanted. So forgetting God is the bad, and remembering God is the good. Otherwise, everything is bad. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said something, he said the same thing, that, there is nothing good or bad in the material world. Everything is bad. The only one thing good that we have is that we have an opportunity to connect with Krishna. We have an opportunity to remember Krishna. We have forgotten Krishna, so we should be very eager to hear about Krishna. So by hearing about Krishna, all this good or bad of the material world can be forgotten, and we will come to a position where we will be able to remember Krishna, understand Krishna, and that is real good.